Okay, guys, so welcome to the very first episode of Olie Paintz with Friends. Today, who we're going to talk to is Todd from Island Custom Concepts. If you guys don't know Todd, he is a really good buddy of mine. Check him out on Instagram. I believe he's on Facebook as well and TikTok. But he is a tech rep for AkzoNobel in Hawaii. So we're going to get on a little call here with Todd and kind of get his background, his history, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. It's the very first one, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Record. All right, man. I'm gonna just jump right into this.
All right.
So what's your name? What do you do? Where are you from?
I'm Todd Stogdell. I live in Hawaii on the island of Oahu. Let's see. I've been in the trade since 1992. Started off in California. Worked in shops, many different shops in the area. 2010, the economy tanked, so I started to look for a job somewhere else. Hawaii became available because I used to live here, grew up here, so I decided to move back. Started at a shop, just just being a painter, and then in about 8 months, I found a Craigslist ad for being a paint rep. So it's something I wanted to do. And when I was in California, I told this one kid that was working at a paint distributor place what I wanted to do. If I moved to Hawaii, be a tech rep, he goes, "Oh, they'll kill you. They'll never like you. You'll have problems all day long." And, it was a blessing in disguise. It's been the best thing I could ever do.
That's
So,
rad, dude. That's rad. I see. And when we were hanging out at SEMA, I didn't even get that part of the story. I learned a lot about you, but I didn't hear that the beginning part of it, which is really cool. So you were a painter, like
yeah,
to start with?
no, actually, I'll speak candid on the issue. I did a lot of shit when I was younger, got in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Through being in trouble, I've been incarcerated. And through
Yeah.
the incarceration, I went through an auto body repair program that they had. It gave me a
Oh,
certificate that got me on my way and got my foot through a door at a dealership shop.
dude, that's
Um,
awesome.
I was working on all the late 80s, early 90s Ford stripper trucks. So I was in the back working, sanding, getting the trucks ready. We were actually R&I in the trucks. They would get sent out, get blasted. They would duct tape just around just the seams and
Yep.
blast all the paint, come back, and we'd DA buzz the trucks.
Yep.
And we were the guys that had to fix the dents on them for the customers if they were going to pay, right?
Yep.
It was kind of like a Mako setup that they were doing for these stripper trucks. Um, and then from there, I just eventually just started progressing.
That's rad, dude.
So
I had no idea that they offered those kind of programs there. That's so cool though.
yeah, I mean, we were working on fire trucks and county cars and stuff. I mean, everybody was in there just beating on stuff. They really didn't know what they do, but I kind of grasped it and
Yeah.
learned from it. And so the thing is like I said, I got a certificate. It got my foot in the door,
Yeah.
and it's just been great ever since.
Right. That's rad, dude. That's so cool. So then
I tell
what kept
people,
you going, man? Like what from there, like what did you just get hooked by it like I did or
yeah, yeah. So I mean, just prior to that, I knew some people that were doing side gigs. They were renting a huge chicken coop place up in the mountains, and they had a body shop. It was legit.
That's
And
awesome.
then so I was going up there and working on my car, and then from there, my car was just in primer.
Yeah.
And so when I started working at the shops, the painter's like, "Oh, we need to paint your car one day." So I painted it that strawberry red color, which was a Ford. I can't remember the color code, but I had a 77 Celica, and that's what I painted it.
That's rad.
Um, yeah, so from there, and then I just slowly started, learning more and doing stuff on the side. Still doing the prepping for, several years until, my painting on the side caught up enough to where I could go in and do painting at a shop.
Right.
And it actually progressed me right from painting to being production manager at a shop for a good amount of time. And then right before I left California and came to Hawaii, that was basically my background.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and it was it was interesting because like when the economy tanked, um, I went on vacation and came back, and we went from 14 guys on the floor down to 4.
Oh,
And when I went
wow.
on vacation, I was skeptical that I'd have a job when I got back. When I got back, the owner said, "Hey, look, my business can still survive without you. We're just hurting so bad, I got to let you go."
Yeah.
So I take one bad thing as that I gained the job that I have today, and it pushed me away from California and brought me to Hawaii.
Yeah.
So
Well, I wouldn't argue about that, dude. I always tell you that I'm gonna come out there and crash on your couch, and it's for real gonna happen one day. Like it has to.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, and then now you're with Axo, right? AkzoNobel.
Yeah, so we're an exclusive paint distributor here in Hawaii for AkzoNobel. And they're so far in the mainland that basically I do all the tech support.
Hmm.
I do as much hands-on training with new technicians, product test. We do testing here. We also do a lot of in-house training here as much as
Hmm.
possible. And also we do like consulting, and we do a lot of different collision repair procedure operation training too. Um, I,
Awesome.
I've been trained with Fuser, 3M, and other major manufacturers. So with that, I can bring that kind of training into a shop and show them their procedures that they want them to follow with their products, so
Yep.
that the outside guys don't have to come in. We're doing it internal with our customers and bringing more value.
Yeah, yeah. That's rad, dude. All right. I made a little list here, so I'm gonna
Okay.
just kind of go through. Let's so what's in the future for you? What do you think you're gonna be in Hawaii forever, or are you gonna come to the mainland, or what's the plans?
Yeah, I know. And we kind of talked about that at SEMA and stuff. And I said, it's right now, I mean, I got a good gig. And
Hmm.
when I go to retire, it's expensive here. So I'm trying to weigh, what do I want to do,
Yeah.
as well as, what opportunities are out there too down the road.
Yeah.
I mean, a 5-year outlook, I would say I'm definitely going to be here.
Hmm.
A 10-year outlook, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see where I want to go and put things into play.
Are you gonna shock yourself and move somewhere cold or what?
I don't know. I like the weather, but I also miss the seasons in the fall. I mean,
Yeah.
when you guys show me pictures of snow and stuff,
Yeah. Yeah, like the
for me,
icy
I miss,
roads.
yeah, yeah, icy roads, or just snow on the trees, or the
Yeah.
leaves changing color. Here in Hawaii, it's like 85 degrees today,
Yeah.
and it's sunny. You can see in the background, it's just
Yeah.
bright. But the weather can change in 5 minutes. It could be rainy, but it's still warm.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out where would I want to go. There's Texas, there's Florida, there's Montana, there's all these different places.
Yeah.
And
If
my
you
tech,
if you want 6 months of beautiful and 6 months of why do I live here, Montana's the place for you.
and my
It can be rough.
my sales rep guy from Axle lives in Montana. He
Yep.
lives not far from you, from what I know of.
Yeah, you said
Uh,
Laurel, right?
yeah, yeah.
So that's literally 15 minutes from my house. So it's really, really close. That's kind of funny.
And he
Awesome.
raises cattle. He's also does hay. He does, he's got a bunch of things that he does there besides doing the sales part, or
Yeah.
representing Axle. So
Yeah.
it's interesting what goes on in Montana.
Right. All right. Here was one question that this is something I get asked all the time on like my TikTok, Instagram. What's your favorite paint gun and what's your favorite paint line that you use?
I'm gonna say it's Axle is the paint line now, just because I'm so familiar with it. But I've shot everything from Deltron, Delstar, PPG, even their EnviroBase, Standox.
Mhm.
It was Standox Hydro. It wasn't the Standox Blue that they had.
Mhm.
Um, to anything that people brought to me and said, "Hey, can you paint my car with this?"
Yep.
Good and bad.
Yep.
Glasser it. I've sprayed Glasser it. I'm not fond of the water base, just because just the chemistry of it. It's just really weird.
I've
But
never messed with Glazard at all.
it's It's funny when you mix it up, it's all of a sudden it's like pudding and then it starts to just get liquefied. It's weird because it's a solvent suspended in water kind of thing,
Oh, okay, okay.
a hybrid. And that was, a weird thing. But as spray guns, and this is what I tell everybody, and I'll stick to this, is that what's the best spray gun? As being a tech rep, it's whatever gun you have in your cabinet, because
Yeah.
I got to make my paint work with your gun in your booth.
But
So
if you had to have just one, what would be the one that you would just keep? Like if you had to get rid of all of them and you were keeping one.
if I was keeping one, is it for each like
Let
sealer paint clear,
let's
or do
say
it's just
one
all
that you
around
would use for base and clear.
base and clear?
It's got to be
Um,
good with both.
that one's tough
Uh-huh.
because my go-to gun just always been the WS 400 for clear.
Mm-hmm.
Just the Evo. That's been a good gun for me.
But for
But
base coat, that gun's kind
yeah,
of
that's tough. I'm gonna say in what is do I get to pick water or solvent? Because there's a huge difference in there.
let's go solvent because that's what most people that are listening to this will probably be using.
Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to say my soda gun because it's been pretty reliable on that. But if I really wanted to get down to it, I have a Techna Pro that is my water-based gun, the go-to if it's like metallics or whatever.
Yep.
I just know that I can go to that gun and I can just close my eyes and orientate anything.
Yep.
Um,
I can't
solve
argue with
solve
that.
solvent can get tricky, that's it just depends on what you're spraying, your conditions.
Yep.
Water-based is so more user-friendly in
Yep.
this industry than solvent. Um, and the thing is Hawaii's conditions are really, really tricky. And because we have a lot of humidity
I was
too.
gonna
So
say,
it
yeah,
could,
you walk outside and you feel like you're instantly sweating in Hawaii. It's crazy.
oh yeah, yeah, you're just melting. The people
Yeah.
get off the plane and go, oh my gosh. But I heard it's bad in Texas and other places,
Yeah.
the southern.
Florida and
So I just tell people Hawaii is more ideal because our conditions kind of stay the same all year round. We
mhm.
might drop like, let's say 5 to 6 degrees, but in Hawaii it's huge. It's more right now it's a little bit more relaxing and you can deal with the weather.
Yeah.
But in like when April comes all the way until when I came to SEMA, it's just brutal. And you're like, man, when's winter coming?
I know when we got to SEMA, it was like a freaking cold front going through Vegas. Like I brought shorts. I told you this. It's like, oh, I packed shorts thinking that it was going to be, warm. And I even brought swimming trunks like a fool, thinking that maybe we could swim. Yeah, no, that didn't happen.
You want to be by the poolside,
Oh
right?
yeah, dude. I wanted to enjoy Vegas for Vegas, but it definitely was way colder than I was expecting.
Yeah, at times it was. Those few days when we were walking from your hotel to Vegas and that wind, yeah, it was
Yeah.
just blowing through you.
Yeah, it was
But
nuts.
it's nothing compared to what you're dealing with right now.
Yeah, no, this is yeah. But I'm so used to it. It's like I throw my Dickies jacket on and that's fine. I wear shorts with Under Armour all the time because I don't like pants for one, but for two, it's like I'm so used to the color change, the temperature change and swings because it'll be feeling like -10 out there. Well, by lunchtime it'll be 50 degrees. You know what I mean? It's that drastic during the day here.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we don't get here is those real temperature swings. I mean,
Yeah,
in the morning, it'll be in the low 70s,
yeah,
and then soon as the sun comes up, it just starts ramping up. You hit 80 degrees definitely every day before noon.
yeah,
And it's almost like lunchtime, you can feel the temperature really change. And
yeah,
then around 4 or 5, as the sun starts to go down, it starts to just, drop 2 or 3 degrees.
yeah.
And
It
I
just
mean, you can really
mellows.
feel the difference. Like I said, in Hawaii, if it's like below 70, everybody here is like in jackets and like, oh my God, I'm freezing to death. That's their mentality here. And so when they go to the mainland, they're just popsicles.
Yeah, yeah, I
Frozen.
bet. So with the humidity there, do you guys spray mostly solvent then?
No, I have a lot of shops that do water.
How's the drying? Like, does that affect the drying at all?
It does. And when we get like what they call like monsoons, where we get a lot of heavy downpours,
Hmm.
there's just so much moisture in the air. And also we're right on the ocean. So when we get a lot of heavy winds, you can literally see the salt spray just traveling across the island. It's
Hmm.
literally, you can just see this big whiteout, and that's just all the ocean turbulating and causing all this salt to get in the air. That also hampers when you're spraying too, because that brings a lot of moisture in, and it
Hmm.
even sucks in through the ceilings of the booths.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's, one thing that, you take in consideration, that sometimes your dry time gets slowed down.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well,
and
I know even here when it rains, that water just takes forever. Like you can set blowers on it and it'll take you 15 minutes to do each coat.
but you probably bring up a little bit of heat, and that's
Yeah.
helping flash in the moisture through
Yeah.
through the air ducts.
Yeah.
And that's what some of the guys do here. But in Hawaii, you really don't need a baking unit.
Yeah.
You can change your clear chemistry. You can use a more, air bake clear, which we sell a lot of.
Yeah.
Um, and that helps speed up the process to where you don't even need to have a baking unit.
Yeah.
Um, I would say the bigger shops I have them, and the smaller shops I have, there's no heat in them.
Well, and some of the booths that, because like I'll see like on your stories, I'll check out the people that you tag in there, and some of the booths I've seen that are on the island, they're genius, like homemade style booths too. Crazy. And then I think one of the guys had one that was outside too.
Yeah, there's outside, like my friend Andrew, he's does it right out of his house. I
That's
mean, he
crazy.
literally has a mixing bank, camera, computer, everything, and then he built out of a kind of a it's a metal canopy,
Hmm.
or carport, and he extended it a little bit, and he put doors on the front, and he put house furnace filters, and it works killer. It gives me better jobs than if I go into some of the booths in some of my customers shop. The airflow is just dynamic.
Yeah.
And he's got a couple of just 30-inch, Home Depot or Lowe's fans that are sucking on the other side.
Yep.
um, and it works
Well, and
you know
that's like a lot of the guys that are trying to do this DIY and they're like, well, how do I set up a booth? Well, you got to have intake with filters and then two fans at least for the exhaust with filters. And I mean, that's just proof that that's all you need. You just need good air movement to
yeah.
have good paint jobs. You know what I mean?
And try to just seal it up as best as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I've sprayed in all different kinds of conditions. Like I
Yeah.
sprayed in barns, to where I sprayed a truck out in an open field and had to
You told me that
mow the
story.
grass around it. I mean, we adapt to what our conditions are.
Yeah.
And again, like you're saying, what's my best spray gun? It's like what's going to work best in your booth. If you got
Yeah.
a cross draft, if you got a down draft,
Or your
those.
compressor, that could
Yeah,
also dictate it.
oh yeah, definitely. It's funny. I went into a shop the other day and I gave the guy demo guns. I says, "Here's my Carbonio and here's my X Light." I came back the next week and he goes, "I'm buying the X Light." And I'm like, he's like, "I just can't get the Carbonio to do what I want to do. I like
Yeah.
this one because it's just spraying and I've done all these jobs with it."
Hmm.
And and so the thing is being able to adapt to your material and adapt to your gun setup, your
Yeah.
conditions, your
Yeah.
air compressor, like you said. I mean, I go in some shops and all of a sudden, I go to training and it's like, we can't train because we got a pollution problem. You got contaminants. They're like, yeah, we've been having fish eyes for the last week. And okay, so let's figure it out. And we figured out that it was actually contaminated after the filtration. I'm like, how the heck can this happen? So basically, they had to gut everything from that filter unit all the way back to the booth.
Oh man.
Sometimes you got to really figure out what's going on, what's going to give you the best turnout on your products and on your paintwork.
Yeah. So, okay, here's a question that I always get. If somebody was trying to get into this industry, become either a painter or a body tech, what would be a little bit of advice that you would give them as far as just starting out? Like, what direction would you point them in?
They got to figure out what they want to do. And going into a body shop, there's a lot of different aspects. There's everything from the office, estimating, to there's a parts guy.
Hmm.
There's Now it's starting to develop where there's scanning and calibrations.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
a
We
really
went through that.
clean technology, and really, you need to know your P's and Q's.
Hmm.
The other thing is being a paint or body. There's also detailing. But a lot of the times that happens is a guy comes into a shop and says, yeah, I want to be a painter, or I want to be a body tech. The thing is they got to understand that they're going to have to start at the bottom and work through a transition period. And that transition period is actually based upon your ability to learn, to come to work, to listen, and to be able to follow the directions that are being put in front of you. And the other big key thing is finding the right mentor or the right coach to help support that technician and grow.
Yep.
Like I keep telling people, I says our industry is a dying breed. Our community program colleges and vocational rehab training centers are hard to come by, or hard to get people to enroll. And so a lot of the kids are coming off the street with no background, no knowledge.
Yep.
Um, I think, a big thing, and we need to develop, and we can talk on that later, is trying to get into high schools and intermediate schools and starting to develop these programs and get that going.
Yep.
But as in for somebody coming into the trade, I says, you got to have passion. You got to understand that you're going to be a person that's going to be working on cars day in, day out. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's good and bad. And like I said, if you start in a shop, it's a transition period that takes time. You can't plant the seed today and reap the fruit tomorrow. That tree is going to take many of years to grow to where you're at journeyman level, where you can get top pay. And the problem is guys come in the shop and they see the painter and they're like, I want to be that guy. And then they think in 3 to 4 months, I should be there. And if I'm not there, then they start weathering away, or they feel like, oh well, I can't do this, so it's not worth it, and then they just bail.
Well, and I feel like a lot of times, like, especially because it's a lot of young kids that ask me that question, they don't understand that I started on this kind of journey for myself when I was 18 years old and I was washing cars. So I started washing cars, and then I went to work for a dealership. I detailed cars. I learned how to polish. I learned how to wet sand. I learned how to do all of that at a dealership setting. Then I started doing paint correction with orbital polishers on the side, taught myself that. And then it was like, okay, well, I know how to make these look perfect now. Let me learn how to spray it. I already knew that I had to climb the ladder. So I took a step back and then climbed my way back up. But it's like a lot of kids, like you said, it's like they think in 3 to 4 months that, oh, I'm going to be where he is. No, you got to realize that I've been doing this for 15 years. You know what I mean? I've been grinding to get to where I'm at. If you want to be where I'm at, you better put in the same amount of work, you know?
And the other thing is they got to understand that mistakes are going to happen. You know what I mean? I
Absolutely.
tell what one of the first things a painter told me when I was working in his shop, he goes, boy, you're going to fuck up the step up. And I just looked at him and go, what do you mean? He goes, you're going to make mistakes.
Yep.
It's okay. The thing is that we're going to try and teach you how to work through those mistakes.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter. It's the same thing in life. We make mistakes, we can fix our mistakes, and then we can, not try to repeat them. It's the same thing in this industry, because if you're just a repetitive person making mistakes, you're usually going to get let go.
Yep.
Um, and it's hard, it's this job isn't easy. And like I told you, I had to start at the bottom and work my way to where I'm at today.
Yep.
And there's so many things. Technology has come so far now, and there's so much different information you can get out there that's so much better than when we started. We
Yep.
really didn't have like social media, YouTube, any of that stuff that's really getting detailed about how you can paint a car or how you can fix a car. I mean, what's the number one thing everybody does if like, man, how do I get this tail light, or how do I take this part off the car? YouTube.
YouTube.
And
Yep.
you're like, boom, there it is, right?
Yep.
So YouTube has good information, but it can also give you bad information, and
Yep.
it's just like social media. People look and they're like, oh my God, the car looks so magnificent. But if you really got up on it, you're like, holy crap, this thing's full of
Well,
flaws.
yeah, that was just like when we walked around SEMA and went, Oh my gosh, dude, look at this thing. Or that, was it a Lambo that had that giant paint chip that you found?
Yeah,
Just stuff
but
like that. Yeah.
and a lot of people, I guess, commented on cars that they saw, or people throw a wrap on it, right?
Yeah.
And from afar, it's like, wow, that looks cool. And then you get up on it, and you're like, oh, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But again, it's whatever they're choosing, what they want to do to their vehicles.
Yeah.
But the big thing is quality takes time.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that people want to get into restoration. That's a whole different level than collision refinishing.
Yeah.
You got to have a mentality to have patience and still be productive. And those are two hard things to do, and especially high end quality too.
Yeah.
You get people that want to pay a scuff and shoot, but then they want a show car, and to make that that bridge connect is so hard, and it's hard to explain to people
You know
about
how
that.
many times that kind of job came in at the auction when I was there? All the time. Oh, just sand it and paint it. It just needs painted. Okay, well then it literally every single one of them turned into, okay, we're gonna reblock this. Okay, reprime it. It'd be 3 rounds of primer later. And then all of a sudden we got a show car and everybody's afraid to even look at it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the tempering expectations as far as complete paint jobs go is so difficult. Like, because everybody just wants perfection, but at the end of the day, it's like, how how much do you want to spend, you know?
Well, how much time are you willing to invest into it, right?
Yeah. Oh, do
Was
you
that a
see that?
spider?
You see that? Jeez.
I was like, what the?
That straight up just dropped down right in front of me.
It
Oh,
just
you
photobombed you.
yeah, dude, that was crazy. I hope I got that on video. I should have.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it.
Dude. I'm like sitting here looking at you and I just see him come straight down. Wow.
Was I
Dude.
was I talking? Hopefully the camera didn't switch.
Oh no, it's that's all right. It probably I'm sure it recorded it still. That was funny. So SEMA, let's talk a little bit about SEMA and what I had a lot of people ask like how SEMA is, and honestly, I think SEMA was very different for you and I, like compared to like normal people, because I feel like a lot of people didn't. You could pick your experience. You can either like walk around and see everything, or you can walk around and meet people like we did.
Or walk around and we network,
Yeah,
right?
that's what we did the entire time. It was nuts.
And I think the cool thing, Joel, is that I got to see how your social media has given you an amazing platform
Yeah,
to get manufacturers to come back behind you and support you in different ways.
yeah,
And the thing is you're selling yourself, but you're also selling good content for
yeah,
them to be able to market their business.
yeah,
And that's why I was like trying to get you in front of anybody that I knew so that
yeah,
they could be aware of who you are
yeah.
and be able to help back you even more.
Well, and I appreciate that. It was like the craziest experience because for me, talking to these companies and kind of explaining that what I'm trying to do is kind of inspire new people to come into this industry because like we've talked about, like it's so hard to find body techs, other painters, preppers, like nobody is into this anymore. But with TikTok, I've kind of built this thing to where I've had so many guys literally tag me in videos and say, "Hey man, I was a prepper 5 months ago and now I'm in the paint booth. Check this out." And it's like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. And that's why I wanted to start a podcast, was to show other people, hey, these are my friends that are trying to do the same thing, you know what I mean? And kind of get your guys' background on how you did it, because it's it's more just about like inspiring others and showing them tools and products that actually work so they don't
Mhm.
waste their money, you know what I mean?
No, totally. And that's the big thing too, is I have a thing I always say, it's called pay it forward.
Hmm.
And I'll do the kindness out of my heart to help anybody and everybody. I
Hmm.
mean, my social media platform is also a tech rep platform. I get a lot of questions just like you do.
Yep.
I get a lot of people that send me videos and go, can you explain what happened here? Or, this is what happened when I do this. What else can I do? And the thing is for us to be able to give them valuable information through our experience that helps
Mm-hmm.
them get through their day-to-day problems is a huge accomplishment in itself.
Yep.
As well as being able to go in and put hands on with somebody and work on a car or be able to do stuff. I get a lot of people that tell me, I see we got 10 minutes
Yeah, we
remaining.
got 10 minutes left.
Okay. I see a lot of people telling me, oh man, I really wish I could do this or I could do that. I says, if you want, I'll come in and show you
Yeah.
and help you. And a lot of times I come in just to help them, and then they're just standing there just absorbing and going, oh my gosh, this and that. And the thing behind everything of doing something new is being able to know that I'm doing it with confidence or that I know I'm doing it right. And
Yeah.
if you can coach somebody, that's the hugest thing, that when you walk away, they feel comfortable that they've done something.
Yep.
Um, the big thing, like Bryce coming out here and doing his body shop class. I mean, we did metal gapping, we did body filler, we did all this stuff. And we even had like 11-year-old kid that was welding on a door shell, just gapping metal. So
That's so
there's
sick.
huge things to take away, and it's a father and son thing that are going to work on their bug together. So my thing afterwards, I says, hey guys, if you ever need help, you call me. I'll come over to the house. We'll do this.
Yep.
And it's with everybody else. There was a husband and wife. They're working on their early '60s Nova wagon, and they're all do it themselves. And what they're doing is just amazing work.
Yeah.
He's like made the tail light so it opens up and it's the gas nozzle inside,
Yep.
the
That's
filler.
sick.
Certain things like that you see people that are doing it from home, anything's possible. And everybody's just got to be willing to take the risk to reap the reward. If you
Yeah.
don't take the risk, there's no reward.
Well, and ask the questions too, because a lot of times I see videos where somebody will be trying to explain how to do something, and you could tell that they skipped a couple of steps while they're, you know what I mean? It's kind of, I don't want to sound cynical, but it's just those videos where you're kind of cringing watching them because you're like, oh man, like I know this guy has been on my page before. Why is he doing it like this? And I always tell guys on my platform, at least, that ask every question. If you're unsure, ask. I try my damnedest to answer as many questions as I possibly can, from masking to blending to what clear coats to use, what rattle can stuff you can get away with. It's just ask all the questions. The dumbest question is the one that you didn't ask.
Absolutely.
And
Or
that, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, I tell everybody there's no stupid questions. I might give you a stupid answer if you don't
Yeah.
understand it. Just ask, why did you say that? Why is it this?
Yeah.
Why is the best question you can ask somebody is, why did you do that? Why do we have to do this? What's the next step? It's all this stuff. It's a process.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand the process, we got to stop and get you to understand the process, because there's building blocks, and the building blocks is the foundation to everything. It's in life, in automotive, in anything, construction.
Yep.
Building the foundation will support anything that you put on top of it. If
Absolutely.
you're not willing to put in the time to make that strong and secure and make it a pillar stone of your ability to be able to do better things and to work hard, there's common sense. There's so much stuff that goes into working on cars and just in life in general.
Yep. Yep.
And I tell people, you can literally read a person and understand, are they going to get this, or are they just going to just blow through it?
Yeah. Or the false confidence. I've had
Yeah.
kids out of high school that want to learn how to do what I do, and it's, oh, I got this, oh, I got this, and they do something and you're standing there going, let me help you, like, let me show you this. No, I got it. And it's like, no, just listen. If somebody's willing to teach you, just listen. You know what I mean? Like, don't jump the gun thinking you know everything, because you and I don't know everything, and we've been doing this industry stuff for a long time. Accept the fact that you will constantly learn. There's, like you said, new technology, new products that come out all the time, yearly. I mean, even a couple of times a year, that we all go, holy crap. Like, remember when UV primers came out and UV putties, and that's still new, but there's a lot of guys that are like, there's no way it works. Oh no, I'm not going to use that. Or you know what I mean? Like there's always something new to learn.
There's a lot of resistance around that. I mean, I was just at a shop this week and the guy's doing mostly rental car repairs, and
Yep.
your budget is really tight.
Yep.
He UVs everything. And the reason why is because he goes, I look at volume that I can do when I use UV versus the time delay that I have in my production line. Literally, I'm streamlining cars once they get out of body, it's primed already, and then I'm moving to paint.
Yep.
And the thing is technology will get you faster, but there's a cost behind it.
Yep.
And it's just performance too. Like you told me in water-based, the thing is, oh, well, I want to shoot water-based because I heard it's easy and this and that. But water-based might not be good for your situation if your booth's not set up. If I have a customer who has a cross-strap booth, I says, it might not work good for you because you're going to disrupt the room more. You can
Yep.
only have airflow in a certain direction. Again, and that happens with different products and everything else, you know.
Absolutely.
And the other thing we didn't even touch on is safety behind all this too, you know.
Yeah.
There's, I think, I hope we can talk about that another time. You know, not only is fixing cars fun and exciting, but also you got to be safe and you got
Yep.
to put the car back safely too, because you're putting other people's lives in jeopardy. And like I said, the calibration, scanning, all that stuff is, there's certain things. If we take a car apart nowadays, we have to put it together right and right by the manufacturer, because if not,
Absolutely.
we can send a death trap out on the road.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely make sure I make notes for that in our next conversation because I feel like you and I are going to make this kind of a regular thing.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Awesome.
And I've really had a blast meeting you at
Yeah.
SEMA. Just to touch on that, I hope more people go. We
Me
went to the
too.
first party. That was great to meet people. The other thing is that I didn't have one negative vibe the whole time I was there.
Yeah,
People
me either.
were open, conversating, really wanted to get to know you. I mean, I
Yep.
had people pull me to the side and say, hey, I see you on Instagram. I see you here. It's really cool to meet you. Or people that says, hey, can you come look at my car? I felt that was awesome to be able to go
Yep.
and see something that they created.
Yep.
It was cool.
It was definitely a good vibe. Like, and shout out to Chris and Kirk too for that
Yeah.
fantastic dinner that we went to with those guys. We got to meet so many cool people, and the guys from AG,
Yeah.
the spray guns, those were super cool. Like, yeah,
Tracy,
2023 is gonna be cool.
the Tracy reached out to me, asked me about a gun. She's all, which gun do you want? I said the MP, and I'm going to tell her the 1.3.
Yep. You're gonna
I'm
love it, dude. You'll love that thing.
try that gun. And I want to get the Segola gun. I get a lot of guys asking me, dude, I saw you at the Segola booth. Are you getting the demo gun? So I got to get my hands. I got to talk to Ed, right?
Yep. Yep.
And see about getting that. Again, there was so many great opportunities, and we met so many cool people,
Yeah, we did.
and I got to give hats off to Austin. He did an amazing job
Yeah,
doing
shout out to
all of our
Austin.
pictures. I mean, he
Yeah.
was a trooper. He's like, man, I'm your photo guy. He was repping
Yeah.
you hard.
Dude, he was
Um,
handing out so many stickers. I'm like forever in debt to Austin. Like for a hype guy, he's the
yeah,
best damn hype guy I've ever had.
he was your great person. What is it? That person that works
He's
for
like
this.
my sidekick, man.
Your personal assistant. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
pretty
Like
much.
that's what movie stars have, or whatever, celebrities have. He was
Yeah.
there just marketing the shit out of you, which
Yeah, dude.
it needed to be. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw doors opening. I was like, wow. I
Yeah,
says, now
dude.
I got to build my platform. But I mean, my work takes me away from so much that, trying to
Yeah,
do
but
what I.
it's gonna grow, man. Oh snap. All right. Well, we got less than a minute, so I'm gonna probably call it here, Todd. I
Okay.
appreciate you for coming on here and chopping it up with me, man. We're gonna definitely do more episodes like this where you and I just kind of I'll get some notes down and we'll just talk about some things.
Yeah. Love to talk about topics, about stuff, what's trending. You let me
Yeah.
know, Joe.
Awesome.
Amazing time. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Much
thank you, sir.
aloha to everybody that's going to watch this video from Hawaii, and keep following this guy. This guy does some cool shit. If you want to learn, Joel's your guy.
Awesome.
I
I
learn every day.
appreciate you, Todd. All right,
All
I'll
right,
talk to you next time, buddy.
mahalo.
All
Take
right,
care.
peace out, bud.